What's up, folks? This is Justin, and you are listening to the Welcome to Your Doom show. This is episode number 69, and Uthal and I are discussing the new DCU under the leadership of James Gunn and Peter Safran. Now, they just released their slate a little while ago, and it's pretty different than what we've seen already. A lot of recasting happening, a lot of canceling of future plans happening. It's a bit of an interesting shakeup. And that's basically what we get into in this episode. So thanks for listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you can find us at youtube.com/welcome to your doom. Thanks again, and let's get into this episode. Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to your doom.
Hello.
Hello everyone. We got brand new stuff today.
It's been
a
new laptop.
We're shooting in the new Welcome to Your Doom studio.
The J Cave.
Yeah, that's right. This is the Justin Cave. We need to find a better name for that.
We really do.
Yeah.
This is my office. I'm actually planning on posting some more information about what I did in here. I kind of turned a project into a 6-month project. But yeah, I mean, I think the results are pretty cool.
You've got the secret door, which you should definitely post pictures of because it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you are like, if someone were to walk into this room, you're like, there is no doubt this man is a gigantic fucking nerd. Absolutely. No doubt. If you look around here, I'm just going to point a couple of things out. All right, we've got a series of signed X-Men number 1s. Those are the Jim Lee like launches from like the 90s, I believe, and all the covers connect together.
Yep. You know what? Hold on. I got to give a shout out. Shout out to my buddy Tom. I don't remember who it was in his family, but I think they were either closing down a comic shop or they were getting rid of a bunch of comics. Yeah. But all of these were in that slew of comic books they gave.
Yeah. Those ones in particular, I think they printed a lot. Like Jim Lee's launches in the 90s, even when he was with Image. When he was with Image Comics, like his Wildcats, for example, like Wildcats number 1, it was so highly anticipated at the time. They printed so many, it's nearly worthless because there's like so many of them out there. And I think they did the same thing here. But what makes this different is that old Jimmy Boy signed them.
Yeah, I got them done at one of the SDCCs. When Tom gave me these comics, he's like, look through these. You can have them all. If anything's valuable, give me some money. So at the time, they weren't valuable. I don't know how valuable even they are with Jim Lee's signature on them. Like,
it's just cool, though. Because
like, cool. I mean, that's the main thing. It's not like it's crazy value.
There's no denying Jim Nee.
Yeah.
Jim Lee is a talented artist. Like, there's no question.
No, of course.
And, I mean, it's so funny because back in the day when I was collecting comics in the 90s, which was a weird, like, some consider an awful time for comics. A lot of chrome covers, a lot of bagged books.
Yo, nothing is wrong with that. Let's, now it's tangent time, baby. There's a comic book shop near here called Nowhere Comics.
Yeah.
I've yet to actually buy something from them yet, but I'm actually planning on doing that soon. So shout out to Nowhere.
Sure.
But they have a really good website. It shows all their back issues and everything that they have.
They actually have like inventory?
Inventory, full inventory. Nice. And I saw they had, I think it was Age of Apocalypse. It was either the Alpha or the Omega, but the Chrome. And
the Chrome covers,
Yo, it was $10. I was like, I think I got to try and find this when I go there.
That was Joe, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. It's been so many years, but like Joe Madureira. Joe Madureira. And he went on to do like Battle Chasers and all these other books that he started and never finished. But then he did he's done video game design since then, and they made a Battle Chasers game.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. But they also, like, the one game that people would know that he worked on actually is the one with the 4 horsemen where you play War. You play as War in the first game, and then you play as Death in this. What am I thinking of here?
I have
What's
no idea.
The 4 Horsemen game, and it's like it's kind of like a God of War style like action beat 'em up.
I have no idea what game this is.
I can't remember the name of the game. This is
I wish I could. This sounds sick.
It's embarrassing. It's it's a fun game. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm gonna look this up. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Or video.
Shit, as long as I'm giving shout outs. Shout out to Jacob. Mr. I don't want to say his last name, but you know Jacob.
Yes,
he came
I
to
do
some
know
Comic
Jacob.
Cons.
Yeah.
He came to New York with me that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was the dude that introduced me to Battle Chasers.
No shit.
Dude, he
really?
introduced me to Battle
Nice.
Chasers and Berserk. Actually,
So,
I
like
think
Berserk, the manga?
the actual manga.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that I think it was you introduced me to the fucking most depressing thing I'd ever watched in my life, which was the first anime.
Yeah.
But the
no,
the actual Berserk, or I guess it was called Sword of the Berserk, right?
Yeah.
The anime.
The anime, I think the anime was called Berserk. I got introduced to this was the Dreamcast video game, which was called Sword of the Berserk. Guts' Rage. And from there, I'm like, this was amazing. What is this based on? And then I found the anime, bought the anime on DVD, watched it, was so into it. And for those that, not to ruin things, but for those that are aware of Berserk and the Berserk universe, it is not a bright and lovely place. It is an awful, awful, dark, oppressive place. And the end of the arc in the anime, the most horrific things happen to characters that you've grown to really love over the course of the anime, and it's so horrific. And then it ends, and that's it.
That's it. No sequel, no nothing. It's
Nothing.
like, we're done. Didn't they just do that with the shit that they just put out too? They put out new anime for it, which is awful.
So they did 3 movies.
Yeah, but they end at the same point.
The 3 movies end at the same. I don't know what it is, because then I watched the 3 movies and I re-experienced the same trauma that I had, and I'm like, why is this happening? Then I read the manga up to the same point and re-experienced the trauma again. And each time the eclipse happens, which is the event in the story in which horrific things happen to characters you love, I just can't find the will to go on. And in the case of course, the DVDs that I bought, there was no option at that time. But the story does go on.
It does.
It does, and it still remains bleak.
It's not.
It's very bleak.
Not, uplifting. It's definitely bleak.
No.
But you don't. It's called Berserk, but he doesn't actually get the Berserk armor for a very long time.
Yeah, he doesn't get the Berserk armor until after the eclipse.
Well after the eclipse.
And when he does get the Berserk armor, you're like, now these the godhead and the demons are going down. To use the Berserk armor, it breaks every bone in his body to use it. And I'm like, nothing comes easy in this universe. Clearly, nothing comes easy.
Not a goddamn thing.
Even his sword can be, too heavy to wield sometimes. But it's an extremely well crafted story anime. It's just you gotta have, a stone where your heart is in order to get through it.
It's tough. It is a fucking slog.
It's very tough. It's tough. But I mean, Kentaro, I can't remember his last name, but the guy who writes and draws the anime, exceptional artist, incredible. And it's great. It's so good, but it's so
soul
oppressive.
sucking.
Yeah, it's so oppressive. So you really got to be in the mood for it. So I would recommend it to people who like that sort of material, and I do like that material from time to time. It's just, I've experienced on 3 separate occasions the same story leading up to the same tragic event.
Yeah.
And that event, it haunts me.
It's a lot,
man. It haunts me.
It is a lot.
And in the anime, they do a version of it that isn't, I guess, what I would call complete. Because the films, the 3 movies, and the animation in that, those aren't bad.
In the new ones?
In the new ones, the newer ones, the Golden Age arc, and 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
They're not. They use that 3D cell shading thing going on.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I don't know. I thought it was okay. It could have been worse. But they do that one. So you've read the manga.
Yeah.
There's stuff that happens during the eclipse in the manga that does not happen in the anime during the eclipse. I'm just gonna leave it at that, because there's horrific things happening all around, but there's one particular horrific thing that is not shown in the anime. And when I read the manga, the manga is also much darker than the anime was.
Yeah.
And so the stuff that happens during the manga, I'm jaw dropping in terms of like, oh, they cut this out of the anime, obviously, but like you're getting a full on vision from this writer who does not hold back. He does not hold back. So be ready. Is all I'm saying is be ready. Be prepared.
It's tough.
Be sitting down when you're reading this book, I guess. Not that a lot of people read standing up. I don't know. I guess I could do that. Sometimes on the train.
Would you?
Sometimes on the train. Like you're on your phone, you're reading on the train. Or
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But
But
if there
you're
was
on the
someone
phone.
reading the manga on the train while standing up, they would basically collapse. So don't do that.
That's also one of those things that you got to like shelter what you're reading on thing.
Man.
What were you reading? There was a plane ride. We were on a plane ride.
yes.
Where were we going?
I don't know if you were there. You were there. Like I told you about it. I told you about it.
Maybe, yeah.
I was just doing like a New York Toronto flight because when I used to live in New York, I used to come back to Toronto.
Oh,
once in
that's
a while.
right. Yeah.
So I was on my tablet on the plane, and I was reading Saga, the comic, written by
Alan Moore.
No. Oh God,
the other one.
It's been a long time since we've done one of these podcasts. I'm off my game right now. It's the guy who wrote Pride of Baghdad, and even Why the Last Man. Who's
Yeah.
it?
Oh,
You have Why the Last Man?
Right,
Oh,
literally.
it's right behind us.
Brian
What's
K.
his name?
Vaughan?
Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah,
One of his.
he
I thought
writes
it was-
Saga.
No, I know he writes Saga, but I didn't. Anyway, sorry. I thought it was something else. I thought it was something weirder.
Oh
maybe
no.
Alan
I mean,
Moore.
Saga's pretty fucking
Who's
weird.
the fucking? Who's Neil Gaiman? Neil.
Who's Neil
Who
Gaiman?
is Neil Gaiman?
Is that you're playing Jeopardy right now? We're not playing Jeopardy.
I thought it was a Neil Gaiman thing. I apologize.
No.
That's-
I mean, it easily could have been. It easily could have been an Alan Moore thing. Like if you're reading here, don't read the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the comic book, in public where people can see what you're reading. Do not do that. It's not nothing like the movie. Anyway, so I was reading Saga on my tablet,
yeah.
and I think I'm in middle seat, at this point in a 3-seater, and I'm reading Saga. All good, everything's fine, and then turn the page, 2-page spread of a guy banging a girl doggy style, and the guy's head is a television.
Quick, change the channel.
Look at that Zangief reference
Zangief, baby.
from Street Fighter the movie.
The movie.
Oh, the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic. But yes, so I turned the page and bam, there it is. And I could visibly see the people next to me physically react to what I was reading. I can't imagine what a person who has zero context, which these people are, I'm sure they're fine, respectable people that don't read, the funny books, They look over and they see a dude plowing a girl and he's got a television for a head. And they're probably like, what's happened to the youth of today? Really, that's what they're considering. Like, they're like, what's happened? So yeah, now I'm forever careful about what I read. In public, you got to be careful. So, like, I mean, if I was reading Berserk, that would have been a whole other. Oh man, I would have gotten kicked off the plane for sure if I was reading Berserk. But yeah, you got to watch out when you're reading Berserk. Don't
Don't be in public.
don't be anywhere where someone can see exactly what you're reading. That's
Find
all.
a closet with a light source or bring
Yeah.
your own light, BYO light, and read it in there because
That's right. That's right.
it's not something other people want to see.
How do we get on this topic? We talking about X-Men, talking about. Then you started. Yeah, you were shouting out your friends there.
Yeah.
that's what it was. Yeah, all right. Yes, and Jacob got you onto
Hollows.
Berserk, but got you on
Nowhere Comics. That's how we got there. We got to the Hollows. We started
Yeah.
talking about Joe Mad.
Joe Mad.
That's
yeah.
how we got on our tangent.
The game, by the way, I figured it out. The name of the game that Joe Mad worked on and designed all the characters for and everything is called Darksiders.
Darksiders.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
And if you look at the game, you'll be like, yeah, that's 100% got Joe Mad written all over it.
Yeah.
His designs are like very, very distinct.
Darksiders.
Anyway, so comic store.
Yes.
Never bought anything there.
Haven't bought anything from there. I'm
Yeah.
going to buy The Last Ronin. I was talking to someone at work today about that, my boss actually, and we were The disrespect one gets when talking about comic books as literature is criminal.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, he's just like,
Tell me.
Are you buying something for your nephew? I'm like,
You mean you're at the? Sorry, this was.
I was telling my boss that
Oh, you're
I
talking
was
about-
gonna go
oh.
and buy a comic book, and he's just like, you
Yeah,
buying
yeah.
something for your nephew? I'm like, you got me.
Nah, it's for me.
But no. Anyways, they have a good. I'd gone there one time. I'd walked in really quickly, and it's a very simple comic store,
Yep.
but like really well laid out, and
Yeah.
their website's on point. Like it's
Yeah.
got anyways. I was going to go to get The Last Ronin, so I was on their website to make sure it was still available.
Yeah.
And then I started going down the rabbit hole, and the rabbit hole led me to Joe Mad and the Chrome covers or the
The
full
Alpha
covers.
Omega Age
And
of
I was like,
Apocalypse.
oh, these are great. And I was like, I wonder what Gambit stuff they have, because I'm a big
Okay,
Gambit
yeah.
fan.
Yes,
I
you
love
are.
him as a character. They have the first issue of Gambit there in a very fine / near mint condition.
And that was the '90s book. Like he got his own book, right?
No.
In the 90s?
This wasn't his own book. This was his first appearance
first
in the X-Men.
appearance. Oh.
So it was when he rescued. I think Storm was going through some shit with the Shadow King,
Yeah.
and he rescued her out of nowhere. Just that was his first introduction. So the comic cover is him with a very weird-looking Gambit suit,
Okay.
ushering a child Storm, because for some reason she was a kid.
She was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, it was on there, and I was like, this is expensive.
Yeah.
Should I buy?
Wait, how
this?
much was it?
That one was $280 on their site. I started looking around. I could probably get it for less expensive on eBay, maybe, but like I was not looking for that before.
Yep. And
But
suddenly-
now it's on my brain.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, so we got on that from collecting in the 90s.
Yes.
Like chrome covers and
Yeah.
stuff like that, bagged covers.
So now I want to buy stupid expensive comics.
Bagged
And
comics, sorry.
My worry about that is that it's going to lead to being like, I could use a Fantastic Four #1.
Sure.
Yeah.
You sure could.
Yeah.
I mean,
could
but
also use a fucking another house.
that's right. That's right. Let's talk about some of the things that are in here. More of the things. So if you look behind us, we got so you do have the whole Why the Last Man series in oversized hardcover.
Yeah.
You've got the library editions of Lock and Key,
Yeah.
crucial to any
Huge.
collector's
I love them.
library. You've got huge Transformers fan. I think that's something that you and I both share. And my entire family. We've talked about that before on the
Oh, yeah.
podcast. So we got all these Transformers. Are these the Marvel repros, or this is all just the IDW stuff?
These are just the IDWs.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I really like their art. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
art, the art was
Pat
always,
Lee, man.
Oh,
and
so
wasn't
good.
Pat Lee from Markham? I'm pretty sure he was like
No
just
way.
outside of Toronto base.
Really?
Pat Lee is like, yeah, he's from Markham. So we got a lot of figures going on here. We've got Old Man Logan.
No, that's Days
That's
of the
not-
Future Past.
Oh, that's Days of
this is
This is Days of. Oh, it's the. He's got the furry jacket on.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
So in the interest of shoutouts, this was actually a gift from my brother and his friends when they came
Yeah.
to visit LA.
Nice.
And me and Biz, we had 8 dudes sleeping at our house. It looked like a fucking halfway house.
I love it.
But at the end of it, they were like, we were in a comic shop and I saw this box and I was like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And then at the end of the trip, they just got it for me. For
Who
hosting.
was Joss Whedon wrote Days of Future Past? Who
No,
wrote
no,
that?
this is a very
John
old book.
Byrne?
This was, I think it was John Byrne.
John Byrne,
I think it was
yeah.
John Byrne. It might have been Claremont.
Oh, Chris Claremont.
Yeah, one of the two.
Then we've got. Which Batman is this? Is Batman Beyond?
This
something
is
going on
the,
here. I don't even know what that
this
is.
is one of the Todd Miller, the
Frank.
what's it called? Not Frank Miller, Todd McFarlane.
Oh,
the
okay.
McFarlane figures.
Yeah.
This is the what is it called? Hellbat armor,
Hellbat.
something dark sidey / apocalypse.
Oh, Apocalypse armor. Yeah.
Yeah, but he fucks up some people in this armor.
So behind here we've got the Ultimates hardcovers. We've got which omnibuses are these? This astonishing. So that's the Joss Whedon run.
This is signed by Joss Whedon and
Yeah.
John Cassaday.
Yeah.
And then Omnibus Age of Apocalypse,
shit.
Ultimates Volumes 1 and 2. It's
oh
okay.
shit! Oh shit! He's had
Fly
too
away,
much. He's
fly
had
away.
too much.
I'll deal
Yeah, we've got a lot. We've got a lot going. You have the Marvel 1602. That's the Neil Gaiman's like reimagining the Marvel universe
Love
in
it.
a fantasy setting.
Earth X. This was the covers were
Alex
were
Ross.
Alex Ross, but
Yeah,
the art's somebody
interiors,
different.
yeah.
I don't know who it is offhand.
Yeah.
But interesting series.
Yeah, then we've got all of the Absolute editions behind this cool metal Predator. We've got Absolute Long Halloween. We've got Absolute Kingdom Come, Dark Knight, which is Dark Knight Returns, and The Dark Knight. What's
Rises.
No, it's the Dark Knight
Dark Knight
Returns 2. What's it called?
DKR2 was something else. I don't remember.
I thought
the
it's
name of
both, right? Isn't it both in there?
It's the two of them. And then I got the third one that they did recently. I think it's in the DC. I got like DC, Marvel, Batman, Superman specifically, Transformers, my Magic books, like Magic.
You got a little Hellboy Right Hand of Doom piggy bank.
Yeah, I think I got that from, what were the box subscriptions? What are they called?
Box. Yeah. The nerd ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
I can't remember the names either. Yeah. But yeah, the Beast Wars, big fans of the Beast Wars. We should talk about that trailer at some point because they're bringing them Beast Wars into kind of like the big budget, Transformers, new Transformers movie, Rise of the Beasts, right?
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that now? And I'll do another thing separately for all my shit.
Yeah.
Mainly
so
because
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I don't know whether that'd be super. I don't. If somebody's listening to this, they're like, "Hey,
what the hell is this guy talking about?"
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's true. All I just want to point out on this right side here, we got like 1,000 Optimus Prime, like almost like every version of Optimus Prime you could possibly imagine.
That one I dubbed my
well.
Optimus Shrine.
The Optimus Shrine.
Yes.
Optimus Shrine.
Shrine?
Yeah,
no,
like
it's just
Prime.
Shrine. Yeah, but it's let's not get crazy.
Okay.
Let's not get fucking crazy.
Anyway, so
I got some cool shit in this room.
Yeah,
There's
lots
all
of
kinds
cool
stuff off camera as well.
That's right. You've got the Armory, you've got Stormbreaker, you've got Mjolnir, you've got the Green Lantern ring, the Flash ring, Captain America's shield, you've got Megatron in gun form.
Yes.
Which is pretty cool.
That's the first masterpiece Megatron version they've done. They've done a few versions of Megatron. I think 2 now. The first one, the fucking robot mode is janky. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But the gun
looks great.
So good. That's why I just keep it like that because it looks better.
You've got a Batarang. You've got a ton of Transformers there. You've got you've got Thanos' gauntlet. And then you've got like, you're a big fan of the Crow.
Huge.
Yes. And the fact that I didn't notice that all three figures, you have the Crow, Heath Ledger's Joker, and Bane from Dark Knight Rises. They all have the same. They all have the same pose.
Yeah, they're all like. Huh?
They have their hands out. Yeah, they're just like, hit me, baby. That's what that is. Yeah, lots of amazing nerd stuff in here. This is really cool, and you should, keep it like this forever and ever and ever. It's awesome.
If you're listening to this, I'll do a video of I'm going to do a few videos of this room, the entrance, all that shit, but I'll also do some of the content. There is one thing I'm also really proud of. That Blackest Night thing.
Yeah, up at the top. Yeah.
So that was another thing I got signed at Comic-Con by Jeff Johns and
Yvonne Hayes.
Yvonne Race, yeah. And then I don't know
Joe Prado, I think is the anchor.
Joe Prado was the other one that was there, yeah. It wasn't Doug Mankey?
No. So Doug Mankey does a part of that issue.
Yeah.
But I think I was there when was this New York?
Yes.
This is New York,
No,
I feel like this was New York because I feel like I got similar SIGs for my trades.
I can't remember. I know I asked Ivan to sign shit he didn't do because he was doing Flash stuff at the time.
Yes,
and I handed him a bunch of Flash stuff. He's like, "This wasn't me." I'm like, "I'm sorry." I felt really fucking bad.
That's
My
so
bad.
funny,
Sorry, buddy.
Dude, oh man. I mean, like, look, you've got the Sinestro Corps. You have the absolutes. You have Green Lantern Rebirth, Sinestro Corps War, and the Blackest Night. That is the holy trinity of like Green Lantern mythology, myth making.
And then down, where's my other Green
Right
Lantern?
there, yeah.
Well, there's the other ones. There's the red one, the orange. The red one, the orange one. I just knocked out my monitor.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange.
And Brightest Day that comes after the Blackest Night. So yeah, there's like tons of really cool shit in here, and this is absolutely where we should do the rest of our podcasts.
Ah, man.
I want that good nerd juju. I want that. It's good energy. It's a good vibe.
I agree. I've got some good ideas for this room. I need more. So
yeah,
but eventually it'll evolve. Anyways.
Absolutely. So real quick, what did I want to say? Oh, let's talk about that Transformers trailer.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to.
Yeah. Do it.
I'm so goddamn excited about it.
So we may have talked about this before, but there's like, I can't believe there's more than 3 Transformers films, first of all. So I can't remember because there's like 2 more after the first 3. There's like the one with the Dinobots and then the one with the dragon. Like, that's how I refer to them because those are 2 different movies, right?
Yeah. I'm astonished at just how the longevity of these Transformers movies are.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
usually what happens, and I'll use Shrek as I think a very good example of this. Usually, if you've got a series where one movie comes out and it's good and it's like, or, I mean, we'll call it okay, but it's entertaining and it's successful, right? Then when the next movie comes along, if it is dog shit,
Yeah.
usually people don't go see the third,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Shrek, first one was good, very good. The second one was arguably better. The third one was a hot, steaming pile of shit. Now the fourth, I don't know, that might have been aggressive, but it wasn't nearly as good as the other.
And you worked on some of these movies.
I didn't work on any of those ones.
Oh, you didn't work on.
However, I worked on the fourth one.
Yeah, you worked on the fourth one,
and
yeah.
not a lot of people went to go see it
because you worked on it.
Fuck you. No, because you got me.
They're like, they saw Justin. They're like, fuck that guy.
No, sir.
He went up to Yvonne Hayes and was like, sign this for me, and he didn't draw a single panel of that book. You
felt so
horrible,
bad.
horrible person.
I felt so bad. I'm like, I still like your art, man. Did I ever tell you the story about a friend of mine? I worked on a movie called Turbo with
snail
your buddy
movie.
Ryan Reynolds as a snail. And I think it was Turbo. Anyways, a buddy of mine sent me a screenshot of my name in the titles while it was in the theaters.
Oh, cool.
And I go, yo, thanks, man. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's
this
cool.
was great. He posted it on whatever social media or
Yeah.
Facebook, whatever. He sends it to me. He goes, good job, Jay. I'm like, oh, thanks, buddy. And then I look at the bottom. It says, encoded by such and such. I'm like, did you pirate my fucking movie? You bastard.
Dude, that is awesome. That's so great. It's like running on his Plex server.
Yeah. This was a while ago. I don't even know if Plex was there. Anyway.
Oh, my God.
I always think of that every time I see that guy.
That
which
is
not
so
often,
funny.
but,
That is so funny.
Anyways,
Right, so Transformers,
Transformers.
comparing it to Shrek of all things.
Yeah, so I think like the remarkable thing about Transformers is the first one came out and it was watchable. It was new because you hadn't really seen that kind of level of detail of the Transformers before on screen ever in quote unquote live action. The designs were all very different, but it was palatable, for lack of a better word. But then the second one comes out, and I can only imagine that the success of that one, or the receiving of it, of being successful enough that people go and see the third movie, was based off of that one scene in the goddamn forest. Because I'm not going to lie, I've watched that scene a lot. The movie itself is hard to watch.
Okay.
But I don't know how people went to go and see the third one, which I believe was successful. And in my opinion, it should be, because that's the best of all of them, other than maybe Bumblebee.
Can I
Yes, please.
can I jump
go ahead.
in here?
Yeah.
I watched the first movie and just I couldn't find many nice things to say.
Really? That bad? It's not good. I'm not going to justify it as a good movie. I'm going to
it's
say
too long.
Yeah.
It's like, see, that's the worst. That's for me. That's like the worst crime to commit, is overstaying your welcome, especially for a movie. With, the content of this film.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly something that you didn't need 2 hours to tell the
It was
story.
like 2.5 hours. But every Michael Bay film is that long. But Bad Boys 2, that movie is not a great movie, but I'll watch Bad Boys 2 before I watch Transformers 1 or Transformers 2. But so Transformers 2 was, I think, like an awful film. It's not good. Again, sorry, when I say I go find many nice things to say, I can find nice things to say. I can.
I know
there
if you could have
No,
tried.
I could. Yeah. So in part 1, I'll tell you there is one thing, and I choose to remember just the moments that I enjoyed. The scene with the helicopter where there's the projection of the pilot.
Oh, the
it
opening
lands.
scene.
Yeah, the opening scene of that film, fantastic. I was like, this is great, because like the Decepticons seem menacing, they're being deceptive. They're. Yeah, they are. They're doing, and that the whole projection thing was an addition that they added in the movie that absolutely 100% makes sense. I'm like, that's really cool. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And he transforms and he like destroys the base, and I was like, yeah, they're scary. Like this is a scary enemy. And then like the rest of the movie happens.
Enter Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and
and then you're following this dimwit.
Yeah, it was
dimwitty.
brutal. Yeah,
fucking.
And everyone's like, it's a Michael Bay film, so everyone's like really sweaty all the time, and everyone's just like, it's just
damp.
like it's very they're damp. Like everything
yeah.
is really really damp for some reason, like smoky, misty, damp. And probably smelly because everything looks like it doesn't smell very good. And then like so anyway, not to get too much into it. Like I mean, it makes a lot of money. Second movie comes out. I think the second movie is much worse. And then the third movie comes out. And I saw the third one at home like randomly, like long after it had done its theatrical run. And the third movie has a third act action sequence where they attack Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't, like the scale of this attack I'm like, Michael Bay, this is the sweet spot. Like put Michael Bay in this spot all the time. I will watch a 2.5 hour action scene by Michael Bay. I will do that. But unfortunately, there's just so many, there's like 1,000 characters in these movies, like human characters for whatever reason. But the third act in Transformers 3, it's a great action sequence. Do I think these are good Transformers movies? Not really. I feel like it's its own like IP at this point. Like I just feel like if you just called it something else, change the designs a little bit more, you could have like made something new up. Now Bumblebee comes along and anyway, then the Dinobots show up and then like I don't know, like Optimus Prime's riding on the Tyrannosaurus. Yeah,
I haven't watched all of the fifth movie. The fourth one was so like that. I would watch the second one 1,000 times before I watch that fourth one.
Oh, that's not true.
100%.
There are robot dinosaurs in the fourth one. Like, why would you watch the first one again?
It just looks. I don't know. I
also
don't
the second
like
one. I'm sorry. That's what
the second one.
You would watch the second one again.
Yeah.
Before watching the one with the robot dinosaurs.
100%.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Look, man.
You're out of your mind.
Look, man. And
Frasier's in it.
Yeah, and he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's great.
He's a real piece of shit.
Oh, he's a bad man.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit. I didn't like him. He didn't like himself. He didn't look like he was happy doing it.
He was also very sweaty in that movie.
Everybody sweats in a Michael Bay film.
Sweats,
a lot.
They do sweat a lot. And then the fifth movie had the dragon. I don't even remember what happened with that one.
I know it ends with Unicron being the planet.
The moon?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Is that that's the
He's
third one.
inside of the Earth or some shit. Fuck
and
you.
He's called
I'm spoiling it if you haven't seen it. I don't care.
He's called Unicron?
Yeah, they say Unicron. Don't touch Unicron.
I think I just fucking.
He's not happy.
I think I just blacked out. Like in that movie.
No, that's it. It was a post-credit fucking thing because there's a Unicron horn sticking out of the desert somewhere.
Oh, it was a post-credit?
Yeah.
Sequence and they introduced Unicron? Okay. Anyway. Then Bumblebee comes along, and Bumblebee is a much better Transformers film, in my opinion. And now we've got Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Saw the trailer, and remarkably, like, I'm such a big Beast Wars fan. Just seeing Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Air Razor is there. Rhinox is there.
Yes.
I'm like...
My guy.
I'm like, look, man, I'm there. Yes. Like I'm there to. I'm gonna watch this movie. Look, I'm gonna watch this movie. I have a terrible history with these Transformers films, but I'm gonna watch this movie. And why why are the Beast Wars why are the Beast Wars characters the size of buildings? Like it's a giant. It's like King Kong, Optimus Primal. Who knows? It doesn't make a lick of sense, right? But or like a giant cheetah. Like, why are they so huge?
They're big.
I don't know.
Like
robots in disguise. It's like, okay, we'll copy this thing, but you're the size of a truck.
Well, hold on. So the Beast Wars show was based in the Transformers universe.
Correct.
And at some point, they find the Ark on prehistoric Earth.
Yes.
They go and they see the Transformers.
Well, there's a big reveal that it is, in fact, Earth.
Prehistoric Earth, yeah.
And then they're like,
spoiler alert.
It's
for the fucking
Earth.
Animated series back in 93.
Which is practically unwatchable.
96.
It's practically unwatchable
it's
right now.
Rough to watch.
If the writing's great, if you just if they made audiobooks out of the Beast Wars series, it'd be great.
So much better.
But it is hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's got that
animation.
early 3D TV animation, like reboot.
No shadows. Everybody's just kind of floating above the ground.
But great designs,
Yes.
right? But like it's tough to watch now. But
Great designs.
they find out that it's indeed Earth that they're on, and they find the Ark.
Yeah, with all the other Transformers on
That's
it.
right.
And then you've got them amongst them, the original Transformers, and they're so much smaller in comparison.
And I'm like, this was amazing. I thought that was so cool.
Right.
It was so cool.
But here's the thing. On film, that'll never work. Also,
Yeah, I know.
In an environment where they're interacting with the Transformers regularly and not just kind of amongst them offline, it's not going to play.
No, yeah,
that's
you're
why
right.
they got to have them the same size.
That's right.
And the other thing, like when you think about it, they never really gave an explanation in the Beast Wars series why they were so much smaller.
Yes.
I'd read things after. They're like, oh, because as evolution of the Transformers went, they became more efficient and less power, whatever.
Which makes so much sense because if you look at their alternate hidden forms, they're perfect.
Yeah.
They are perfect replicas of the denizens of that planet.
Sure, yes.
Right? Which I'm like, that's cool. That makes sense. And if you notice the things that they come in with the protoform, those are also not like super low, but they're also like morphing constantly.
Right.
I guess the tanks themselves aren't very big, so they're not altering, their sizes when they scan. They scan the protoform lands on the Earth, on the planet. It'll scan around local wildlife. Choose one to copy.
Yeah.
And I guess, I think they're smaller. That's what it made sense to me back then. Was like they're smaller, they're more efficient, they're optimized for their what they need to do.
Right.
And they're just better at blending in. They're just better, right?
I never thought of that part. I'm just thinking that the robot, like I'm thinking of it as their robot forms are that size, right? You don't have like a Megatron going from a handheld gun that I could hold to a fucking skyscraper sized robot.
Another thing that I loved about that show, because they used the 3D animation on Beast Wars,
right?
There was no mass changing. They couldn't, like, they could have done it, and I'm sure they tweaked it a little bit here and there.
A little,
but when you see them transform in the show, when you bought the toys, they actually transformed very close to the same way they transform in the show.
Yes.
Which I'm like, that's really friggin' cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so we've got really large
monkeys
Maximals.
And really large cheetahs.
Cheetahs and giant, like falcons and stuff running around. And just it looks good. And like Optimus, I think looks a little bit better. I don't know exactly where this lands in kind of the Transformers sort of universe, and I don't really give a shit. I just want to watch the movie with Beast Wars in it, Beast Wars characters in it, Maximals, and you don't get to see the Predacons. Maybe at the end there's that last big war shot at the end, you see, but you don't see. Do you see a
Those
T-Rex?
are Terracons, I think.
Terracons.
They're not the Predacons, which is weird, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they combine into something like Menasor or something or other. But anyways, that's the main thread of the movie is those robots. They're not the actual Predacons. That being said, I'm really hoping to see a fucking dinosaur. I'd love to see a dinosaur.
Well, watch the fourth movie, you asshole. There are some dinosaurs in that.
They're robot dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I want to see Megatron dinosaur.
Can you imagine?
Dinobot.
Oh, see, Dinobot would be amazing if we saw Dinobot in there.
Good.
But I'm just thinking, like, they just rip off Jurassic Park, and it's the exact dinosaur from Jurassic Park, and then he transforms into a robot. Yeah.
With the same score from John Williams. Fucking rip it all off. Yeah. It's all Fox. It's fine, or whatever.
No, it's Universal, I think. Oh, what do I know?
I don't know.
Anyways.
DreamWorks. It was DreamWorks Film Company originally.
Oh, maybe it's DreamWorks again.
I don't know.
Anyway, point is, the trailer was, you see Optimus Prime transform. He's got the two swords. Does he have the two swords? And he's holding the mace.
Yeah,
he's got some weapon from the show. It's been a while since I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they were missing from the trailer that would have been like gotten me like crazy hyped up would if he said maximize.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it in the trailer, but I'm entirely sure in the movie that he'll say like he'll say his name like Optimus Primal maximize, and I'm gonna bust a nut.
Yeah,
So
well, as
that's
well
pretty
you
much what's
should.
It's probably
been
what's
years
gonna
in the
happen.
making.
Yeah, that's
20
right.
years in the making. Optimus Prime will maximize. Ah!
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very sorry for anybody that was listening.
And that has taste. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on that one? I don't know.
I'm curious to see how they kind of integrate the Transformers characters with the Beast Wars characters. It looks like there's some threat that's coming back to the Earth that hasn't been there for however long that the beasts have been on Earth.
Right.
Somehow hiding their skyscraper-like bodies. Like, I'm a robot, but it's
so it just doesn't like you see what I'm saying here. It doesn't make any sense. Whereas
not
like
blending
as Transformers turning into cars and trucks and planes and helicopters, like that makes sense. These guys can hide.
Yeah.
You have
it's basically King Kong, like you said.
You have a Mack truck sized cheetah running around. I'm like, he's probably wondering, I was like, why do these guys always see me? I look exactly like one of their local denizens. I'm like, yeah, well, you're like 8,000 times the size of it. Well done.
Maybe they'll explain it, but
Yeah.
I don't need an explanation. I honestly would be okay if they're like, we came back then, and this is what a monkey looked like then. I can see robot parts on you. That's what they look like.
I can see. Why do you have your circuits exposed? You're not doing a great job of hiding here. Anyway, yeah, look, I'm in. Like,
I'm
look,
65 million years old. Fuck you.
Past his prime, would you say?
But ching. That's your second one. Today.
Past his primal.
Yeah.
But
past his primal.
yeah, no, I'm in. I'm like,
It's
I can
also
talk
Ron
as much
Perlman.
shit about, yeah.
Yeah. I love me some Ron Perlman.
That is like 1.5 nuts busted when he says Optimus Prime will maximize in that movie, and it sounds like Ron Perlman. It's just, I'm just, hope that the seats in front of me are unoccupied. But I'm in. Like, I can talk as much shit about this movie as I want, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to watch it, and there are going to be parts that I enjoy. Kind of like the rest of the Transformers movies, except for really the second one. And the other ones where I blacked out and I don't even remember what happened. But, like, 1 and 3. I remember some stuff from those movies, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, fair.
I'll talk all the kinds of shit, but I'm gonna be there. Who am I kidding?
Well, we did want to talk.
Yeah, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about other fun stuff.
What other fun stuff? Are we talking about the fun stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
James Gunn.
Yeah,
This man has come into the DC EU,
That's
which
right.
is now the DCU.
DCU.
Yeah, and punched everybody in the dick.
Would you say that he came out guns a-blazing?
Guns a-blazing. Pew, 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 pew.
Exactly. Yeah, so I kind of want to react to his announcement here, and what I thought we can do.
I'm going to bring it up on the screen here on the lappy. But, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to play the video so the audio would come through and the people would know like what we're... Like, I'm just going to play it right here.
Oh.
And the audio is going to come through, and I'll just pause it, and we'll comment on the... Because it's only 6 minutes long, and we'll just pause it each announcement that comes through, right?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So this is the announcement that came in 3 days ago, and we're just going to comment on what we think about, what he's announcing, how, what he describes there, and we'll take it from there. Here we go.
I might have to cut this
I'm
out.
the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's
Shut
one
up,
of,
James
You know,
Gunn.
our jobs,
dirty
mine and
bastard.
Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in
Right.
film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds.
Let's talk about that for a second. How do you feel about, labeling stuff Elseworlds? How do you feel about what he just said there?
I like it. I think it's important because one thing that I've liked about, and you and I have had these conversations about, films having to be connected in the universe,
Yeah.
and I've come to the I guess, realization, maybe not realization. I've come to the kind of understanding that having outliers outside of whatever universe you're trying to build is great because it gives filmmakers a really good opportunity to do whatever the fuck they want.
Sure. Yeah.
Todd Phillips' Joker would never work in, let's say, the Snyderverse, right?
No.
It just wouldn't work. Even Matt Reeves' Batman, arguably, I don't know, maybe there's a place for him, but it doesn't feel like the right tone, right character for that universe. So I think this Elseworlds concept's an interesting concept if they're trying to develop a shared universe. If they wanted to go down the road of having everything be separate, then you don't need it. But given it sounds like James Gunn wants to develop a shared universe, which in my eyes is a good thing. I think Elseworlds is also great because it lets them have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Like you said, we've talked about this before. I'm not married to joint universes. I don't care.
Yeah.
We talked about collecting comics, and I was collecting comics in the 90s, and one of the reasons I stopped was because it was too much. I feel like comic book properties, the best thing about them and the curse of comic books are both intertwined with continuity.
Okay,
Continuity gives you these big moments and this history and like mythology, but and that's great. But then people are shackled by it.
Yeah,
they're shackled by continuity, right? Creatives that come in later are shackled. They're allowed to do certain things and they're not allowed to do some things. That's why the Marvel What If series started in comic books. That's why Elseworlds series started in comic books, because they're like, fuck, guys, come on. You guys are killing me.
Yeah.
I can't do anything here, right?
Yeah.
And it's no mystery to me that Elseworlds stories, for me, have been some of my favorites.
Yes.
Kingdom Come started as an Elseworlds story. It's definitely like within sort of DC continuity now. But when it came out, it had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Right? The Killing Joke was labeled as Elseworlds.
Yeah.
When it came out, I'm pretty sure. Wolverine is clawing at me back here. Doesn't like what I have to say about Elseworlds.
Shut up. Continuity's great.
Yeah. And there was one more example that I had before Wolverine rudely interrupted me. There was one more great example. Some of my favorite Batman stories, like Red Rain, Crimson Mist, where he's like him and Dracula interacting. Like that's all Elseworlds stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of the stuff that I really like. Gotham by Gaslight, Elseworlds. And
not just you. Those are some of the most popular Batman titles that are out there. For instance,
right, yeah.
And Kingdom Come is universally regarded as a fucking huge achievement on the DC side.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, those all like. If you asked me some of the stuff that's in continuity for Batman, I can give you a few
that I love.
Yeah, I can give you maybe a couple of examples.
Yeah, we'll throw something out there.
When I was growing up reading Batman comics, Nightfall was going on, which I was a huge fan of.
Cool.
What's it called? The Hush series was always really nice.
Yep.
Anyways, there's just a couple off the top of my head.
Sure.
But
those are like those are right in there. Like those are defining moments, and like those are good examples, right? Like so, I do feel like there's a split there. It's not to say that none of them, like like All-Star Superman was another great example of like it's not in there's not in continuity, and so anyway, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that James Gunn is coming here to correct the vision, course correct DC, and he's like, we're gonna do a joint universe, but we're also gonna have these one-offs called Elseworlds. I'm like, that's great. You guys have been doing that anyway. This doesn't really change anything for me.
No,
other than
clarifies things,
and we're gonna get a cool Elseworlds logo. I'm pretty sure,
probably,
and that I'm really excited about that because I love that shit. I love a good when you go into a movie and the music starts and the logos appear. I fucking like. There's certain movies that I love when they alter the logos at the beginning. We've talked about this before. Like I have a list of movies where when you see the Universal logo in like Jurassic Park and the kind of sound that's playing in the background, or you see like. When you see the logos of films getting altered, like in Blade, when the New Line Cinema logo comes on, it's usually blue. And the first Blade film, they change it to red. I'm like, oh shit, like something, they've gone out of their way to start to immerse you in this movie before the movie has even started. So I'm excited to see what the logo for the Elseworlds thing is going to look like. Anyway, it's like a small thing, but it's
I've never heard anybody with more of a hard-on about the shit that happens before a movie starts than you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's insane.
It is. You're right.
I can't wait for that logo.
Yeah, that logo's gonna look good, baby.
That's gonna be the best 3 minutes of cinematic experience.
Can you imagine a 3-minute logo? 3-minute logo?
I meant seconds.
Hell yeah, I'm there. I'm there
Christ.
For that shit.
Oh my God.
But yes, so it doesn't change.
I've got a new demo for my sound system. Watch this Elseworlds 3-minute logo. Nonsense.
But yeah, so I don't really think it changes things. It does clarify stuff.
It doesn't. To your point, you made a very good point that they've already been doing that, right? To the point where it's almost confusing because now they've got things that seem like they were in this universe, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
exactly.
Man of Steel's Snyderverse, or we didn't.
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys?
But that's precisely the thing.
Yes.
Like, you don't even need to answer that question. I don't think you need to and we'll get into it in a second when he gets to what they're going to be doing. But let's save that for the next. Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
All right.
Outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky.
I promise
in
we're
terms
going to
of
do
the
this
4
better next
projects
time.
that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm...
Wait, so let's Blue Beetle, is that a cinematic release?
Yeah.
Because
Blue
theaters.
Beetle...
This isn't a joke, I'm sorry.
Because Blue Beetle is cinematic material, my friend.
Let me give the listeners / viewers a little bit of information. Me and you have been arguing over the Blue Beetle for ages. And this movie is not about the one that you like. So you shut the fuck up.
Listen.
He was a fan of Ted Kord, who is basically a budget-ass Batman with none of the flair for the dramatic, none of the sleek design. He was a man in a blue leotard with yellow goggles.
He looked
and
like
he befriended the other guy in the DC universe with yellow goggles.
Booster Gold, which we're going to be hearing more about in just a second. So you're about to get that Booster Gold Blue Beetle team up that you've always wanted.
Listen. I hate it. I'm so upset by this. I would have watched Batgirl 1,000 times before watching Blue Beetle with whatever quality that movie would have been. Oh my God.
I'm a big fan of Ted Kord, the original Blue Beetle. They decided to go with Jaime in this one, and they changed his powers a little bit. He's got like a scarab that attaches to his spinal cord or something and gives him those powers.
Well, that's what they did, right?
The what's it called? The scarab.
Yeah,
that's not Ted Kord. Like Ted Kord.
No, Ted Kord was never worthy of the scarab. And also Ted Kord was not the OG Blue Beetle. He was the second. There was a guy before who also got to use the scarab.
No.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know about that.
That was his scarab. That's how he got powers. And then Ted Kord got the scarab. The scarab gave him the middle finger. And then he never got to use it because the scarab didn't deem him worthy. And then Jamie Reyes came along.
Jaime? Yeah, Jaime.
This is like me pronouncing corpse for the Green Lantern Corps. Now, this person came along off of the street.
Corpse.
He just finished.
That sounds like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie. Anyway.
Anywho, all I'm saying is Jaime.
It's the tagline.
Christ.
Jaime. Yeah.
Jaime?
Yeah.
Jaime came along, and the Scarab's like, you. Anybody but him, you. And that guy, the him, is your guy.
Ted Kord is basically like the dad joke of Justice League folks. Like, he was there in the death of Superman. He was in the Justice League, but the Justice League was weird then in the 90s.
They were very weird.
It was like Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Bloodwind, who turned out to be the Martian Manhunter in like hiding. Fire was one of the members, and
Ice. I think
Ice, yeah, that's right. Yeah, like, and Guy Gardner, I think, was like on there, and they all get
dummied.
Like, it's so vicious when Doomsday comes in the comics. When Doomsday comes, they get destroyed.
Yeah.
By Doomsday, like Blue Beetle's head gets put through a tree. Like,
I
it's
think it was
vicious.
Booster Gold.
Oh, sorry, not Blue Beetle. Sorry, Booster Gold's head gets put through a tree.
Yeah.
Bloodwind gets his absolutely destroyed. Doomsday wrecks the Justice League in the comic. It's like hard to read sometimes. I was reading, I'm like,
vicious.
It's fucking brutal. But they really do set up Doomsday as being like a big villain. Anyway, point is, I used him a lot in Injustice 2, and you know, that didn't turn out so great because Swamp Thing beat his ass down. But listen, Blue Beetle's pretty great.
Anyways.
I'm excited for the movie.
All right.
So these movies are like, they're going to release these movies. It's Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Blue Beetle, and then the Flash. Sorry, Flash, then Blue Beetle, and then Aquaman. He does say an interesting thing about the Flash here. He says it's going to reset the universe. So I just want these to be good movies. Like, I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited for the second Aquaman movie. Y'all know how I feel about Aquaman. I do love that movie with all of my stupid heart. And I cannot wait to see the second movie. So I'm just really happy it's coming out. But you know what, man? You know what I don't understand?
What's that?
And I made the mistake. I'm like reading comments and like all that kind of feedback stuff. People are like, oh, but like, why would I go to see like this movie? It's not a part of the universe anymore. And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything?
Let's talk about comments and social media on all this stuff, because honestly, man, it is. You and I have talked about it a lot. You've had a lot of very strong things to say. I don't feel like I've been as connected to it because I don't know. I just don't care. But some of the stuff I see on Facebook that gets posted about this shit is hilarious.
It's fucking,
and in the worst way.
It's acidic.
It's crazy. People are getting so upset over nonsense. They're like, this and that. How can you, Henry Cavill? You're canceling him off out of this stuff, and he's going to do this, and it's just like everybody is complaining about stuff that this guy has not done. Who, frankly, has had a fucking great track record in my eyes, and has basically been the front runner of arguably the most interesting components of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Agree.
And he's coming in and they gave him full reign. They said, yo, do whatever it is you want. Okay.
Yeah.
You did the Suicide Squad. That was, I guess it was unsuccessful.
That's a great movie.
That's the thing. I was going to say, it was relatively unsuccessful relative to films that came out pre-COVID.
That's right.
With Batman and Superman IPs.
That's right.
Of fucking course they're going to be more successful than that.
Suicide Squad, the original, had a huge Batman presence in it.
I wouldn't say huge.
Batman was in it, dude. If
huge?
DC,
hold on, calm down.
God damn it, Wolverine got me again.
Wolverine's gonna stab the shit. And this is sharp too.
Yeah, dude. Wolverine is like as soon as I said that, Wolverine stabbed me in the back.
Shut up. No.
Huge compared to none.
Yeah, huge compared to none.
Ben Affleck's in it. He's in a crucial scene in the movie.
35 seconds.
And he's in the post-credit sequence. Dude, it's a big joke about DC when they're like when sales are down on any book.
Yes.
They'll just be like throwing a Batman crossover. And just boost sales. That's exactly what happened with Suicide Squad.
No, that's not why people went to go see that movie because of Will Smith. Before he started slapping comedians.
I'm not saying that's the reason they went to see it. I'm just saying it's a big part. It's a big... You cannot underestimate
I disagree.
How much influence and appearance from Batman can be.
He wasn't in a single trailer. He wasn't in a single...
He was in the trailer.
No, he wasn't. Batman?
Yeah. You see him in the trailer.
Unbelievable.
No. When the purple Lamborghini swings down Yonge Street in Toronto. You see the cape flying, and like it's an obvious.
Okay,
it's an obvious Batman.
Hold on. I take that back. You're right.
It's an obvious Batman.
I forgot. I forgot the Joker.
The first.
I'm sorry. You know what? My bad. You were 100. You're definitely right. They definitely leveraged that. I'm sorry. I forgot that was I fucking repressed that. I'm sorry. I was thinking just of the Deadshot scene. I'm like, he was in it for a second. It's like, oh yeah, the Lamborghini chase.
Yeah, the chase.
Fucking riding the car at the top, just fucking punches Harley in the face.
In the underwater, right? Yeah. It's a crazy scene, but you're most. I mean, like Will Smith has huge star power. Margot Robbie was like on fire then, coming off of like the Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street. Like so no, it had star power behind it, but the lack of Batman is always going to lose people.
But I honestly think we're comparing apples to oranges here, because you cannot compare stuff that, to your point, has Batman in a trailer. I apologize, I take that back. But also, any of those films were released pre-COVID.
Yeah,
like,
no, I
agree with you. I agree with you. There's no compare. You cannot compare movies before. Even now, I don't know what box office numbers are now, to be honest. Like,
I mean, honestly, look, but everything gets compared to Top Gun Maverick at this point. So movies are back, baby.
I hope so.
Thank you, Tom.
I really do hope so. I really do.
Should be Tom.
I mean, shit, Avatar,
Tom Cruise.
Avatar's
Maverick.
been at the top of the list for how long?
That's right.
Now?
Like he's like almost nearly like $2 billion.
Crazy.
But yeah, so
anyway.
the Suicide Squad.
Yes,
a great movie. I feel a lot of people are there's so many complaints. There's so little. There's a few people I see that I'm excited for this, or I'm for me, for like. When I'm reading, I need to stop doing this, but like the stuff that people are complaining about is so insane.
It's insane.
It's so insane to me. Like they're like, oh my God, it's another like joint universe. I'm so confused. It's going to be confusing for people to come in, and like they're not going to be able to figure it out. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I know.
We've just been doing this. We've been doing it. Now someone says that they're going to be continuing to do the same thing. Now everyone's confused.
It's like less confusing. It's less confusing now
hilarious.
Because they're like, "Yo, this isn't that. This isn't that."
It's so silly, and honestly, fuck everyone, because audiences are not as dumb as people think they are. The X-Men series has been doing this for like decades. Yeah. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
You can have good movies. You can have bad movies. You can have movies connected to the continuity. You can make your next movie and be like, well, that one didn't happen. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Just make a good movie.
It's true.
Right? You can have X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you can have Days of Future Past. Or, sorry, not Days of Future Past, but, what's the one that came before that? First Class.
Yeah.
You can have First Class.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can have Apocalypse Now.
No,
not Apocalypse Now. X-Men Apocalypse.
Apocalypse Later.
And then you can have Logan.
Yes.
So it's like, guys, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. This obsession with continuity is unhealthy. It is unhealthy. And is the reason I stopped collecting comic books from the beginning. And it's happening again. I saw the slate. Now, don't fucking interrupt me. I got about 3 minutes of this shit, okay? It's unhealthy. People's obsession with uniformity and continuity is disgusting, okay? I stopped collecting comic books for this very reason. You cannot keep up with everything. People are going to get so washed out. They're going to get so tired of this shit. They're going to stop watching it. I saw the slate of Marvel films, okay? I saw the slate. I stopped watching Marvel movies and TV shows and series. It's too much. I saw the slate of Marvel films. I saw it. I fucking my eyes rolled into the back of my head and I had a seizure. I'm like, it's too much. I looked at it I'm just like indifferent. Indifference washed over me. I stopped caring. And you know where I felt that feeling? The day I decided to stop collecting comic books, that's the feeling I had. And it's happening. It will happen. So having Elseworlds films, thank God they're still there. Yeah. Thank fucking God. Because we're going down this road again with DC, and it's going to be so cohesive. It's going to make me physically ill. Like how fucking cohesive this universe is, right? Anyway, that's what I got to say.
Now, let's talk about something else that was interesting in what he
Like,
said.
how could you suddenly be
boy.
obsessed with
boy.
continuity?
We're gonna go back to
Suddenly.
continuity. Hold on, just give
How
me
can
a
you
second.
suddenly? It's the most important thing. Fuck off.
Give me a second.
It's not.
Give me a second.
All right, get in there. Buddy. I'm sorry.
Let's talk about something else.
Listen,
Oh
no,
my
I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about something
go.
else you mentioned.
Go.
He talked about continuity in
Yes.
video games.
Yes.
That to me stood out because I was like, how the fuck are you going to do that? That's going to be tricky. And then I thought of a little company, you might have heard of them, called Lucasfilm.
Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah.
They make a lot of video games.
They do.
And they tie them into, I wouldn't say they're canon,
I
but
don't
they tie them into the film continuity to some degree. For instance, Jedi
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Recently free on PS Plus.
Yes,
This
yes,
month.
yes.
Oh, sorry. This month being January.
January. Now we're in
Yeah.
February.
So I actually played the first little bit of that. Really cool.
It's
stuff.
great.
Yeah,
it's
a cool
really
game.
good.
Yeah, really.
But
cool.
it's in the continuity of the original trilogy, I guess. you
I
could
guess
say.
like not the.
He's already
original-
Vader.
He's already
pre-Luke
Vader,
Skywalker.
but he's a grown up. Like Order 66 already happened.
Yes,
Or some shit.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So, anyways, they kind of put things into that universe.
Yeah,
Now,
they
whether
always do
they're
that.
continuing that universe and are
Yeah.
going to spawn movies off of those things, I doubt it. But I'm thinking that's what James Gunn is talking about.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, I can't remember who it was that commented on it. I would really like to know. Anyways, somebody that had worked on one of those games where it was in the continuity of films.
Yeah.
They complained so much about how
The
it
Matrix.
stifles the
Do you remember that?
For sure,
The
yeah.
Matrix video game
they had a
where they
couple, yeah.
killed Morpheus in the game.
Oh, I don't remember.
Do you remember that? The
Yeah.
Matrix video game, they killed him.
Yeah.
Basically he's and it was like much touted as being an in continuity story, and they killed Morpheus. Basically, that's why he's Morpheus isn't Morpheus in
The new one.
the new one, Matrix.
I don't even know what game you're talking about right now, to be honest.
It was like one of the. I think it was like the online one of those. Like it was an MMO. Anyway,
Momo?
The Momo. It was a Momo.
Okay.
Sorry.
But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I just to the point of Elseworlds, it kind of goes back to the point of like why we need Elseworlds stories of
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
because if you try and tie everything to continuity, it's going to become stifling for creators and
Yeah,
artists,
yeah.
and people aren't going to want to do it. Somebody had mentioned.
It shouldn't be. So I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. I was trying to remember
It
something.
shouldn't be that in order to watch a movie, another movie is required viewing.
Yes.
Unless this movie is a direct sequel.
Yeah, I think
It
that's
should
fair.
not be a requirement.
Yeah.
Marvel started doing that. I stopped watching.
It got worse and worse too as time went on.
stopped watching.
I felt like there are some films you can go into and it's like, yeah, if you watch the Avengers, it'll give you a little bit of context. You cannot watch fucking Endgame without watching 6 or 7 other films.
cannot.
At least.
You cannot.
At least.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of was Stephen Dorff's comments.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Stephen Dorff famously played
Yeah.
Deacon Frost in Blade.
Yeah.
And
Fucking love
he basically shit all over it, all over what Marvel's trying to do with like a PG-13. I don't know that
PG-13
they've
Blade.
said that, or did they?
It'll
say that?
be PG.
I would imagine, given it's going to be in continuity.
Yeah.
Continuity.
There we go.
Continuity.
Through the machine.
But Stephen Dorff's like, yeah, how's it trying to get fucking people to direct this movie or people to actually, be creatives on this movie? Good luck. You're gonna fucking you're gonna do a shitty job. I am paraphrasing Stephen Dorff. If you're listening, that might not be what you said, but I feel like I got the spirit of it.
Steven loved you in Blade, though.
Yeah,
Loved you in Blade.
Yeah.
His comments were, I think, to the effect that creatives have came in and left
Yes.
on that movie twice now.
Yes,
I think.
exactly.
And
That's
he's
right.
like, yeah, I've read the news. Creatives are coming in, they're leaving. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, he's being so belligerent about it. And to me, I love that.
It's a hot take.
I think it's
Hot
so
take.
funny.
Yeah.
And I also think it's really funny how upset people get with Stephen Dorff about being so belligerent about his opinions about the
I'm
moment,
sure his
'cause
publicist's not cool with it. He's like, dude,
at
Come on.
some point,
let's get some of that Marvel
at some
money.
point, and I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about something similar. At some point, these properties, and whether they're Marvel, or whether they're films, books, whatever, music, at some point, the nerd culture is great because it's such a creative space, and everyone's, and you can be around people that are into the same thing, and it's so, it can be like a wonderfully inviting culture. Yeah. But as soon as you start to use that as a way to identify yourself, when someone says something bad about the thing that you like, that you use to identify yourself, you take it as a personal slight. That is when it becomes unhealthy.
Yes.
That's when it becomes unhealthy. And that's why a lot of people, like, I just read comments about, like, oh my God, Steven Dorff, nobody likes you anyway. Like, you don't diss my Marvel shit because I love Marvel. And that's my identity. Yeah. Right. That's what I use. That's my identity. So there's like a double-edged sword with a lot of the love and a lot of like the passion that goes behind this nerd stuff. And that's why I think Steven Dorff is absolutely hilarious to just go and say, I know he feels that way. And I like when artists are honest. Yeah. That's why I like when Scorsese just comes out and says what he wants to say. When Ridley Scott comes out and just says some shit. Yeah. Dude, Ridley Scott doesn't give a fuck. No, none. John Carpenter doesn't give a fuck. And I love that. I
need more of those guys,
Brian Cox does not give a single fuck.
Yeah, man.
He does not care. Yep. They will come out and say some shit. And whenever I read that, I'm like, that's the real person. Yeah. And I like that because it's a moment of like truth.
You know what though? I've come to just kind of accept that this noise is just that. It's noise. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme. Because here's the thing. What is it? Post Batman versus Superman, let's say. Yeah. The amount of hate that Zack Snyder got was uncanny.
It was.
And then they're talking, when he's actually filming his first Justice League, and it's just hate about why is he still doing this? Batman versus Superman was this and that. It's just hate.
Constant, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of Snyderverse stuff talking. Or a lot of people talking about the Snyderverse. Yeah. And then all of a sudden James Gunn comes along and everybody is clinging onto
silly.
All of this Snyderverse stuff. You're going to get rid of Henry Cavill. How could you? They just brought him back in the Black
Adam.
Oh, that's the one.
Black Adam.
Anyways, they bring him back and the amount of seemingly hypocrisy around all of this social media nonsense and these films and what people tie to is insane. Yeah. Because if you just came out of, isolation and just saw the comments, you'd be like, God damn, this Zack Snyder sounds like he made the best fucking trilogy in the world. Well, you should have read the comments 2 years ago because it wasn't that. And the thing is, I think we just get exposed to the stuff that is bubbling up to the top, and it's what people are reading and responding to, and that's what gets the most views, and that's what the top of our list.
It's so skewed, and that's why I need to stop. Like, I need to stay away from it.
It's skewed because of whatever algorithms show you the top comments on Facebook or the top comments on Instagram. It's just that. Yeah. And then you've got fucking clickbaity hack news outlets, journalism that are putting out articles about whatever's going on and embedding their opinions in there.
Oh God, I just wish there was a place. Joe Blow used to be a good site to get just the news with no commentary, no like opinion, and just like, hey, here's the thing. But now it's just riddled with personal, like everything's an editorial. I'm like, I just want the news, man. Yeah, like I just want the news. I don't need your opinion on this particular subject. But
let me form my own opinion. Yeah, just give me what I want.
Exactly,
that's all I need.
So I mean, they're gonna do these films. I'm excited about all of these. Like, I think they're gonna be great, and they're not besmirched by the fact that they're not going to be included in a part of this vision later. They still exist. Yeah, they're movies. Go see them. Yeah. Like, if you're excited about them, you were before, there's no reason not to still be excited. Yeah. It's just a silly reaction to have, I think.
And at the end of the day, you've got a guy helming the entire universe and all of the film slate, seemingly being involved in the video games and also the film, or the which I think he's going to talk about. Yeah. The TV shows that are going to be on HBO Max. Yep. You've got this singular vision with a guy who, in my opinion, is a guy you want to be your vision guy.
He clearly loves it.
A Zack Snyder guy is a vision guy visually. I don't think he tells very compelling stories. They're always a little overly grandiose. And
totally agreed.
just convoluted.
Totally agree.
James Gunn, I think, is the guy you'd want because he's got those types of ideas and has story in mind. And I think he knows enough to hire the right people to give the proper visuals of the stories he wants to tell. So,
which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is...
So, Creature Commandos, animated series. There's an image that's shown in that video, if anybody's seen it. I'm not sure if that is going to be what they look like in the show. But if it is, this is actually like the second most excited thing. The second most exciting thing on here. Because I've read a little bit of Creature Commandos in the past, and it's absolutely my jam. You know, like it's absolutely my jam. It's literally Frankenstein. Like from the Seven Soldiers, like the Grant Morrison, like that Frankenstein. There's a werewolf there. There's Bride of Frankenstein. There's like a fish guy. There's like it's a fish lady, I think. And I think Weasel from the Suicide Squad's going to be there as well. Yeah. So it's like I'm so ready to see the Creature Commandos animated series.
Yeah.
And I like when I saw this video, I'm like, 100% on board. This looks fucking great.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to tie into shit. I don't care. Give me Creature fucking Commandos in a unique animated style. You know? And I'm fucking excited, man. I can't wait to see animated like Frankenstein. Like, cause I think he's such a cool character in the DCU. Like, he's been cool. Like the Seven Soldiers of Victory. Yeah, that's a great series. If you got if it's confusing, but it's great. But anyway, how do you feel?
I got to see the image he posted, but it's a very this would be like if they started the Marvel Cinematic Universe off with the Guardians of the Galaxies.
Right.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Nobody knows them. Nobody knows who these characters are. I vaguely know some of them.
Yeah.
But I'm all for it. Like, I think that James Gunn's calling card is taking very unique ideas and making them palatable.
Yep.
He did it with Guardians. He's done it with some of his other films.
I mean, the Suicide Squad. He did it again.
Suicide Squad, absolutely. He took some fucking weird ones out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man he made into a very interesting yet silly and fun character.
Shout out to Damien Dastmalchian, who is the guy who plays the Polka Dot Man. He's amazing.
So good.
I've listened to him on a few podcasts. I bought his comic book.
Yeah.
Like he's written a horror comic. He's a huge horror fan.
Yeah.
And just listening to this guy talk, so cool.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to meet this guy in person. I think he would be a great hang. Love to pick his brain.
He's
Super
also
creative.
in the Stephen King film coming out, The Boogeyman.
He's in The Boogeyman. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he is in The Boogeyman. And he was in The Dark Knight.
Yeah. He was
one of the inmates?
He was the guy that tried to shoot Gordon or shot Gordon, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's not the guy in jail.
I don't know. Sorry, no, he wasn't. That was the Joker that shot him.
Yeah,
but he was one of his cronies during that thing that got caught.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's in jail. At some point, he's in jail.
Yeah.
He's been in great movies, worked with amazing directors. I actually I'd love to see him appear, like just as a character in like this new DCU. But anyway, just coming back to Creature Commandos, if the animation style is super unique, that's what I'm looking for. Like I'd love to see a super unique monster-driven sort of action. Even I don't care if it has anything to do with the DCU. If you just said Creature Commandos and it had nothing to do with DC Comics, I'm like, I'm in. This is great.
How many characters did you see in what he posted?
There's six or five maybe. So there's kind of the Abe Sapien character. There's the Wolfman, and I'm
Wolfman.
like, oh fuck, I can't wait for that. Obviously, I'm a huge Wolfman fan. There's the Bride of Frankenstein. There's Frankenstein, and there's one more character in the image. But like I said, the unique animation style is going to be the clincher for me. If it comes in looking like a lot of other things that we've seen in terms of animation, then I'm less interested.
Sure.
I'll still watch it, of course, but I'm really excited by the image that we saw, because if it's animated like that, animated. I think that we're gonna have something like really special on our hands.
This idea would probably be more expensive, but I think it would be almost more interesting. It's an animated series. Every character, this becomes almost like a connected movie, or this kind of you might not like this, but let's just say every character has their own episode of being the focal point of the episode, and each one has a different animation style for every episode.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool.
That'd be fucking cool,
but
man.
I also think it'd be very expensive. I'm thinking of it like what was that Batman, the animated Batman film from
Gotham Knights.
Yes,
Gotham Knight,
where they had, it was basically like
4 anime studios,
4 or 5 different animated studios, different
stories,
short stories within a film,
and that was connecting Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Basically loosely, very loosely, but yes.
Cool. All right,
I'm down. I like it.
Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
So, this is a series called Waller. Yeah. Guys from Doom Patrol are involved. Have you ever seen an episode of Doom Patrol?
Yes.
Great show.
Yes.
I'm kind of like, I want to, because here's the thing. I didn't think Peacemaker would be a fun TV series. I did not. I watched Peacemaker, and I was like, wow, I had no expectations, and this shit just blew me away.
Yeah.
Absolutely blew me away. I'm having the same reaction to Waller. Mm-hmm. Mostly because CCH Pounder is not playing Amanda Waller. And yes, for anyone that's listening to this, you're probably wondering who CCH Pounder is and if CCH Pounder is a real name, or did I just make that shit up? CCH Pounder is her real name, and you've probably seen her before in films.
Yes.
And she did the voice of Waller on the animated series, like Justice League and Batman. Yep. I don't know if Waller was in the Batman animated series, but it was Justice League
and Unlimited.
Anyway, so it's Viola Davis, who's great, but I'm having the same reaction to this. Like, initially, I'm like, I'm not like super interested, but I think with the right creative team, like the people who are involved with the Doom Patrol, I'm like, fuck, like this could be like a dark horse, like underdog kind of, like, I'll watch the first episode and be like, oh, this is like better than I thought it would be, kind of thing.
Yeah. I like Viola Davis's. I mean, she doesn't carry the same.
She's no pounder.
She's no pounder. She does not pound like the best of them.
It's different, right?
It's different. Yeah. It's kind of like, it's hard to separate like the Batman character from like Kevin Conroy or Michael Keaton for me. Like those two, it's almost like I see Michael Keaton with fucking Kevin Conroy's voice. It's hard to disassociate the two.
Yeah.
Same thing with this Waller character. Like, Viola Davis is an excellent actor. I think that she is a very good Amanda Waller. It's just missing CCH Pounder's voice.
The voice, you're right. Her voice is, she does the deadpan delivery.
Yes.
Like, and I understand why
she's
went
good.
that route. Like,
she's good.
But after you hear the voice acting, like, by CCH, is it CCH Pounder?
It might be just be CH.
It might be CH. I add an extra C.
We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, like, you're right. I think it's the voice, where, like,
two C's.
So CCH Pounder's voice, she is so, it's just, there's a gravel, and she even looks the part.
She
too.
does.
She would crush. You've seen Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight?
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight is CCH Pounder at her finest. She's fucking so good in that movie. Yeah. I love her in that movie. She loses an arm, doesn't give a shit.
None. No shits.
Doesn't
no
give a shit. Given. Nothing can stop her.
But I agree. I think that I still, God damn it. I still wish that she would have been Amanda Waller.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, no slight on Viola Davis. I think she is really, really good as Amanda Waller. It's just CCH Pounder was there.
I know.
It is the fucking same
He's
person.
right there.
The same person.
Yes. So, unfortunately, we've spent a lot of time talking about how we wish CCH Pounder was Amanda Waller. She's not. It's
Maybe
Viola
an
Davis. Yeah. Oh, maybe that'd be amazing. But
The Pounderverse.
The Pounderverse. That is.
I like it.
That is an adult DC universe.
It certainly is.
With who we've got, and I'm saying that because I literally her name just escaped me.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. Like on pure dark horse. Don't know how it's going to turn out. I'll dip my toe in, see what's up. Basically.
Sorry, I'm old. I was yawning. Yes, I agree. I'm not opposed to it. I'm down to see what they want to do with it.
Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay.
So.
Pigeonholed them into a date. I like it.
Yeah, they set a date for this. I love the fact that they're sticking with Superman as being the flagship for the DCU, this new DCU. As much as I said before about not having continuity shouldn't be everything, we're getting continuity, and I'm not complaining about that. But Superman, I think, is the crux. When he says Superman Legacy, they show a picture from All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are just hitting every right note.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And Gunn himself is writing it. He's like, I got this. He's just like, look, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Like nobody else can do this.
Yeah.
I 100% believe him. It's clear he loves these characters. Every image of Superman he's shown has always been from, whether it, from heavy All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
And the art, by the way, in All-Star Superman is fantastic. But, yeah, I'm wildly excited for that. That is I'm off the chart. I like Man of Steel. I'm one of the folks that really does like Man of Steel. But I'm ready. I'll show me different Superman. I don't care.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Cast somebody else. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I think we've gotten enough of the Henry Cavill Superman, which I don't know if melodramatic's the right word for it, but it's a less uplifting, less light version of, let's say, Christopher Reeves, right?
Sure,
it's different.
Yeah.
And that's good. I liked it too. I'm on the same side as you.
Yeah.
That being said, if we're in a place where we're starting to rejig things, Superman's a great place to start.
Anyone who thought that bringing in two new people to head the new DCU film cinematic universe, you're kidding yourself if you didn't think that they would shed the weight of what came before.
Yeah.
That's what happens in every business. And like it or not, film is a business.
Yeah.
Right? When a new CEO comes in, the first people to go are the sales team and executives. First people to go. Because this person wants to surround themselves with people that he trusts.
Right. People
that he knows. He or she is going to bring people in.
Yeah.
That they're familiar with.
Right.
Right? People they believe in for the vision that they have for the company.
Yeah.
Right? There was no way in hell I thought that anybody from pre James Gunn, Peter Safran getting involved would be involved later.
Right.
I already expected a full shed, and that's exactly what should happen, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly what should happen. So I love Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but if we lose him as Aquaman, we got 2 fucking movies.
Yeah.
They don't just disappear.
No, I know.
Where they don't evaporate.
True. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, right? So I want to see a new Superman. I saw Henry Cavill. I liked him. I wish he had more.
Yes.
I wish he had more, more to do and better written stuff and all that. But we're in a different direction now. He's showing All-Star Superman as all of the images references for his version of Superman, this is a very different direction, right? And I'm excited, man. I'm always excited to see somebody's new sort of creative take.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have anything different to say than what you had or something to add on. I think you captured it pretty much exactly the way that I was thinking it as well. I mean, them coming in and saying, look, that's what I wanted to say. The balls that Gunn has to come into this after Black Adam basically brings back the guy that nobody really knew whether or not he was going to come back and portray Superman. Right. And seemingly DC leadership had planned to bring him back. They even had a movie slated for him in whatever 2024, whatever year it was. Yeah. And then this shakeup comes. For Gunn to come in after some of that information had either been leaked or officially released and to say, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. I just talked to Henry Cavill. That's not happening.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like, that takes some fucking stones to come in. Because there was a lot, like, the best part, other than Dr. Fate in Black Adam, was that cameo.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've already said it. I love Henry Cavill Superman. I loved Man of Steel. And I'll just say him as Superman. I don't know if I'd say I'd love the other films that he was in as Superman, but him as Superman was great.
Right.
And I was excited to have him back. I was like, fuck yeah, this will be great.
Yeah.
He's going to fight Black Adam, whatever. If that gets us Superman 2, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's gone. I was a little saddened by that, sure. But at the end of the day, I want a good movie. I want a good Superman movie. And James Gunn leading the charge on that, not a bad person to have leading the charge.
I agree.
So totally I think everybody needs to get their thinking straight on this one and think more about who the creatives are and a little bit less about who's going to be putting on the suit. Because honestly, you can put anybody into a suit, and if the movie's well written and if they're a decent performer, you're gonna get some magic. I mean, shit. Everybody that I've mentioned it before. You know, when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman, when Heath Ledger was cast as Joker.
Oh yeah, lots of
even
blowback,
like
man.
Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Who the fuck is
a
this
nobody?
guy?
Yeah.
Henry Cavill. Who the fuck's this guy? It's a whole bunch of those things. But when you actually see them doing what it is that the filmmaker's vision is and their portrayal of it, wait for that.
Do you know
a lot?
Well, you do know a lot.
Yeah.
But do you know how happy, in my mind, James Gunn and Peter Safran were that Black Adam failed at the box office?
Probably pretty thrilled.
They were fucking absolutely thrilled because when it happened, they basically probably went to the brass and was like, "We're doing whatever the fuck we want. Cut Henry Cavill loose.
Yeah,
we're not doing this shit anymore." Right? And great. It's great. I mean, I don't think Black Adam's a terrible movie. I think it's better than fucking Transformers 2, and that made like $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
I think it's better. I'd say by definition is better than Transformers 4 and 5 because I don't even know what the hell happened in those movies.
I don't either.
Right? Yeah. But it failed, and they could let Henry Cavill go.
Yeah.
That wasn't. Now, here's the thing. Imagine Black Adam was a success. Imagine it was like a big blockbuster success.
Yeah.
Now they're fucked. Yeah. Now they're basically like, okay, we got to bring Cavill back.
Yeah.
They'll still write this movie, but maybe they're just like, okay, he's a new Superman, same actor.
Yeah.
Like, new Superman, whatever.
Yeah.
Now that's fucking confusing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about being confusing? That shit's confusing.
I know.
But yeah, like, I don't think they need to drag any old stuff into this. Give me a new Superman. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for them to reinvent.
Yep.
Constantly. You got to
Let's
reinvent,
do it,
man. Yeah. So cool. Both excited for that. Let's see what else we got.
The next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next.
Precinct? What does he say?
What is that? Precinct Earth.
Precinct.
Precinct.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. Thought he meant precinct, like before a synced.
This is a series, another series, and you know how I feel about TV series. Like,
Yeah.
I just wish these were all movies and not series, and not had no fluff and no fat, all trimmed down. But we're getting TV series. Out of everything that could be a TV series, a Green Lantern police procedural, I am 100% in for this.
The thing that makes me concerned
is that it's all on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like
He
that.
did say the word terrestrial, and that bothers me very, very much.
It's they're pigeonholing themselves into keeping everything on Earth.
Don't like it.
Don't like it at all. It's like the fucking Transformers films. Going back to Transformers,
because
where it's like this is Transformers 1. It's like
welcome
85% of this movie is the fucking humans. What are we doing? And the Green Lanterns, of 85% of it stays on Earth. You are missing a lot of very interesting environments and places that they could go.
Welcome everyone to the Transformers podcast.
Fucking A. Just tie it back, baby.
I'm 100% agree with you. I remember we talked about this before, but one of our favorite DC animated films, which they've recently commented on, by the way, we'll bring that up in a second, but was Green Lantern First Flight.
Yeah.
And that is a buddy cop investigation with Sinestro and Hal Jordan.
Yes.
But it takes place on different planets with different alien creatures and characters. You get to see the inner workings of the core. It's a 70-minute movie. They cram so much stuff in there. It's such a it's the best Green Lantern anything.
Yes.
I think that exists. So if anybody wants to see a good Green Lantern thing, film, show, anything, 70 minutes of your time, watch Green Lantern First Flight. Really, really well put together. That's what this is. When he said procedural, like investigation, I'm like, because you could go to one of two ways, in my opinion, with Green Lantern. You go complete fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
You go cosmic, and you go like out there, and it's all like epic space opera stuff. Or you do the cop, the beat, the galactic cop. Like, so they're going galactic cop, but when he uses, like you're saying, when he uses the word terrestrial, I'm like, please don't be here. Yeah. Please don't be on Earth.
Yeah.
Like, be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I am afraid of that. But
it's cheaper.
Dude,
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. And I guess it's for a series. I don't know. Like, when I find it hard to believe I'm going to see a True Detective style Green Lantern show with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I literally will watch I will see it. I will believe it when I see it. But man, if I ever see that, I'll just be like, wow, I can't believe what I'm watching right now. Like, that'll be some kind of crazy milestone in my head.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a nut for Green Lantern, the property.
Sure.
Just seeing it and be like, holy shit, that's fucking Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be another deal. But I am a little apprehensive about the whole terrestrial thing. I think this can be great. Take it off of Earth. Get as experimental and weird with it as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. With you.
All right. Let's see what else we got.
This is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradox.
All right, so this was an absolute random surprise. Came out of left field for me. The Authority is this series that used to be like a Wildstorm series. When Wildstorm became a part of DC, like DC now owns The Authority. And they were also related to a group called the Stormwatch. The Authority is a very sort of like dark, politically driven series. And it's drawn by Brian Hitch, who's an excellent artist who did Justice League after that for a little while. But Brian Hitch's art was super cinematic. Yeah. He did the whole like double panel, like crazy amounts of detail, CinemaScope style like art. I don't, like I've only read a little bit of The Authority, but it is like it's almost like The Boys.
Yeah.
Like in its style and its like kind of takedown of superhero culture and political stance, like what if superheroes were part of the real world and all completely fallible, having political agendas, things like that. And it just came out of nowhere and I'm so surprised. And it's going to be a big movie. He's saying it's going to be it sounds like it's going to be one of their tentpole films. I'm excited simply because I fucking never saw that coming, ever. Which is, I mean, it's great. I kind of love that, you know. But
I don't have many comments on it. I've never read it. Don't really know much about it. It was kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. When I heard Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out, I went, "Who?" I had to look it up. Didn't know.
Yeah.
But this is the same exact situation pre-release of the Guardians.
Sure. Yeah.
James Gunn leading the charge on this. Let's see it. See what he's got. The character designs look interesting.
Oh yeah,
that's basically as far as I know.
The Midnighter and Apollo, like they're. I think it's like there's a prominent like gay relationship between the superheroes. Like there's a lot of stuff in there that was new for comics, like at the time when it came out. So it was very like forward looking. So I'm excited, but not too much to say there other than fuck seriously. I'll believe it when I see it. Like to say that there's gonna be a Stormwatch film. Sorry, not Stormwatch, but the Authority film.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like I can't even process that right now in my head. It's just the weirdest thing. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way when Guardians of the Galaxy got announced. They're like, are you serious? Yeah. All right, here we go.
Look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island.
So, another limited series. How do you feel about this? Prequel, Themyscira.
I don't really care. I don't know enough about the Paradise Lost books.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I don't even know whether they were regarded as like absolutely, necessary DC reading.
I don't even know. Is that based on a story? Is that based on a DC story? I haven't read it.
I think there are some books, Paradise Lost, that sounds familiar. But I don't know. I don't know that I need that story. It doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah.
I want Wonder Woman. I don't know if I need her full backstory. I don't need to know pre-Wonder Woman.
I like the idea of not having, because Wonder Woman's had a lot of, a lot of exposure, a lot of, a lot of screen time. It's a nice way to remind people that Themyscira is still there, but not have Wonder Woman be front and center. And it frees them up, in my mind, like creatively. So now we can see some unique stuff. Like, I'm always about that unique, like, I'm gonna like, okay, what's the armor gonna look like? What's their culture gonna be like? I always like that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do there. But you're right. Without Wonder Woman, it is a little less interesting for sure. But
I also don't know that I need a full limited series about what you just described. Because there are interesting components of like what would that look like?
Yeah.
How would it be? But once you answer those questions, I don't know if I need a full fucking like 6-episode limited series about that.
I mean, my stance on all of these is I wish they were all movies.
Yeah, fair.
So I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
This was pretty wild.
That surprised me.
Yeah.
It's a lot. They're basically asking the audience to be like, hey, you know who Batman and Robin is? This is what they are now. Shut up and watch the movie. And I like that. Like, we don't need another origin.
Nope.
We don't need a breakdown of who Batman is, where he came from.
Nope.
Frankly, we don't really need that much with Robin.
Nope.
You could do the Blade 2 monologue that took a minute and a half.
yeah.
Where he basically said, this is where we ended the last movie.
Yep.
With explaining who Damian Wayne is.
Yep.
This is my son. Came from the League of Assassins. He's also Robin. Let's go.
Talia al Ghul is his mother. I totally agree because like Batman's been examined up, down, and fucking sideways.
Yeah.
Something that Matt Reeves' Batman is not going to do is any of this.
Yeah.
They're not going to touch this. So it's like, what's new? What can we learn about like Bruce Wayne as a character? What's interesting? He has a son. this can be like a father and son story. Now I know a lot of people don't like Damian Wayne as a character. They think he's a little snot-nosed shit. He could be a little prick sometimes. He's trained as an assassin, so he is like absolutely lethal. But if you watch the animated films, I love the way they do Damian Wayne in the animated films.
Yeah.
I just really do. Like, it has a dumb title, but one of the best animated films is called Batman versus Robin, where they introduced the Court of Owls in that one. He's fantastic. Like, that relationship's fantastic. If they get anywhere near that with Grant Morrison's run, I haven't read the Brave and Bold Grant Morrison's run, but man, I like that they're like, let's keep it fresh. This is super fresh. I love it.
Yep. An assassin-based Robin, I think, will play interestingly on film, which I like.
Yeah.
And it'll add a little bit of validity to the Robin character, who's kind of always been a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
I'd say to the general, I don't know, person who knows of Robin. They think of Burt Ward.
I feel like they have to be careful with how they characterize him, because he is a little shit.
Oh, he absolutely is.
And he's
also
perfectly willing to kill.
Yes.
He's kind of messed up. He's totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul is his grandfather. Yeah, whatever. I'm not having this conversation with you again.
You can,
Ra's al Ghul is his grandfather. Talia al Ghul is his mother. And she's not involved in his life. So, like Bruce Wayne got him when the indoctrination into the League of Shadows had already happened.
Yes.
This guy is a little lethal, teenaged assassin.
Yeah.
And it's a total shit show.
Yeah.
Like, it's a total shit. So they have to be careful, I think, how they characterize him, because it's easy to not like him.
Yes.
I think. And they just need to tread that line.
And it's a line they have to tread. If they don't tread that line, it's going to be boring.
Or walk. I don't know, walk. I don't know, walk the line.
You got to
walk the line.
Walk the line. Tread it as like you're balancing, teeter-tottering on either side.
Is it?
I don't know.
Anyway.
It sounds like
it. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying? Yeah.
I was just saying, to keep things interesting, to make that character the most interesting he can be, is that you need to walk or tread that line, but you're not sure where on that line you're going to fall. If you're walking that line straight down, it could be boring. If you go on one side or the other side, it's going to be boring.
Exactly.
If you're constantly going back and forth, he has that that struggle within him as to go to what side, or more Batman, more League of Assassins. That's what makes him an interesting character.
I agree. Yeah.
Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
This sounds fucking great.
It does.
It sounds so
good. If I'm being honest, it sounds fun. Sounds fun. I don't want it to. But it sounds fun.
And if we're going to get a Booster Gold, like Blue Beetle, like team up, because that's what they're also, like the Brave and the Bold in the comics was like Booster Gold and Blue Beetle as well. Like, but I love the idea. I love when he says, like, the idea of Booster Gold, and he's been in the CW, like the Legends or whatever. Like, a lot of these characters have made, well, not Damian Wayne, but Booster Gold's been on that series. But like, he comes from the future and he's using like shitty technology from the future.
Yeah.
He's not even top tier technology. He's just coming back from the future, just using whatever he was able to steal or whatever, and like play at being a superhero in our time. I'm like, this is going to be great. This is such a James Gunn character. This is absolutely within James Gunn's wheelhouse.
I think they can do a lot of fun with him. I think some of my favorite anyways, I don't have much to add to what you just said. I agree.
Right. All right.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swan.
Ooh. So, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This comic book I've only ever heard of, and I've seen images of.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Okay.
And Tom King is an excellent writer.
Yes.
Excellent writer. He's been crushing things across the DC universe, like comics-wise. So, It's like a weird science fiction Western. Almost. You can think of it that way. I haven't read too much about it. Like I said, I just read the solicits, like when it was coming out. But it looks fantastic. I love the fact that it's going to be a movie. And the art on the book looks incredible. Yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I think this is going to be really fucking cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I
yeah.
barely know Tom King's work. I think if I went through, I'd know a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much to comment on it for this one.
No worries. All right, here we go.
Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway,
So, this blew me away.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing film.
Or was it a film?
Oh my
I
god,
missed that.
it's a movie, right?
I think
Shit,
you
let me
might
go
be
back.
right.
dark horror story in the origins.
I'm assuming
Much
it's
more
movie.
jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about. A very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is...
It's got to be a film because the rumor, like the person in talks to direct Swamp Thing, is none other than Mr. James Mangold, who
Right.
when I saw that piece of news, I lost my shit because there's nothing by James Mangold that I've disliked.
Right.
I've liked to some varying degree everything that I haven't seen everything of his. Like I haven't seen Walk the Line, which is just
Tread the line.
Yeah, Tread the Line. Yeah, I haven't seen Walk the Line. There's few, but like other movies, like Copland is like one of my favorite films. Man, it's so cool. Identity, another great like mystery horror thriller. The 310 to Yuma. What else has he done? Logan.
I was gonna say, Logan and the Wolverine were both his,
Exactly.
yeah.
So it's like, man, James Mangold is like straddled every kind of genre. He's literally finishing up. Like, look, I've liked everything from him, but I am not a huge Indiana Jones fan. He's finishing up the Indiana Jones film right now.
Yeah.
Based on what James Gunn here said, he said it's a dark story. He recognized it. I have a very strong feeling this is going to be an R-rated film.
You think?
I absolutely think so. I think it's going to be an R-rated film, man. I think that's going to blow me away. I think it's going to be great. James Mangold, like I just can't even, like, if that happens, I'll be so happy. I think it's so cool.
I think that having the creative direction coming from James Gunn, I don't know. He feels like a guy that would give the green light on something like that have an R-rated film.
James Gunn's movies before Guardians
were
all like these very almost like nearly exploitive, like exploitation style, like dark, pitch black comedies, man.
Yeah,
pitch black comedies. Slither, Super.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Slither is great. Slither is one of the great horror comedies of our time. Super can be considered a horror comedy because horrific things happen in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, like that's why I think that this could be an R-rated film.
I'm going to be very interested to see what they do with it. I you know what I'd like to revisit at some point, and we can even do a part of the show, is the original. It wasn't John Carpenter. It was who did the Swamp Thing?
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven's original film.
Wes Craven's original one, because I think it was actually in Joe Blow. They just did a video on it.
Yeah.
And I only remember the second one, The Return of Swamp Thing.
I've never seen the second one.
Oh, buddy.
The first one I've barely seen. I would rewatch the first one.
We got to rewatch both of those films.
I do a twofer on that.
But
sure.
I think that they're very different. What I think James Gunn is going for here. You've got, Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing was crazy good and also very Alan Moore-y. There's some shit that's out there.
I haven't read Alan Moore's run.
Oh man, I won't spoil anything for you. But
I think I'll go back and try and read that because the only familiarity I have with Swamp Thing was from the New 52.
Yeah.
When they did the Animal Man and Swamp Thing, kind of like the red and the green. And I was like, all of that stuff. That's what I'm familiar with. But
I think the green is a newer concept. What Alan Moore had done, I don't want to go into it because if you do go in there, there's
don't
spoilers.
spoil it because that's definitely on my to read list.
But it's crazy. I'm pretty sure at some point he goes and into hell and is fighting demons.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's out there. It's absolutely
Wild.
out there.
Love it.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what they do go with there, because part of the magic of what Alan Moore did relied on a history of Swamp Thing up until that point.
Right.
So I don't know how much you could do into a single movie for that. I feel like that you'd actually need sequels to do justice of what Alan Moore did with that character.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I mean, a very good cinematic, visionary, I guess, could probably make that work in a single film. But
Yeah.
Swamp Thing's always been like just a beast of a character. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what he's up against in a film to make it interesting, depending on the type of Swamp Thing that you get in that film.
I feel like they're going to introduce the concepts of like the green
Yeah.
and the rot and the red. The red being like the animals, organic
yeah.
stuff, the green being all the plant life, and then the rot being death. Basically. The fact this is going to be a movie means we're going to get some gnarly special effects.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to see what they come up with, because did you ever watch the single season of the new Swamp Thing?
I heard such good things.
It's a cool show.
Yeah.
They have insane practical effects in there. It's very John Carpenter, The Thing. I'd love for them to just transpose that.
Yeah.
Give it pump up the budget and really give us some gnarly, like, R-rated visuals. That's my hope. I think it'd be really friggin' cool. But, I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, downside of continuity, it's all connected, right?
Yeah.
It's so connected. Like, can they do that? Can they have some movies be R-rated and then cross over, and then suddenly they're not R-rated anymore, and they're not swearing, and there's no blood? Like, it could be jarring, and that's the handcuff part I'm talking about. Like, I just kind of wish there was no continuity, you know? Or the continuity was slight and it was like understated. But it is what it is. The people want continuity. That's the trend. That's what's going to sell, and they're doing it. But they're still keeping the Elseworld stuff. But I think Swamp Thing is going to be real. I'd love to see who they get to direct all of these. That's my next big I'm so interested. I wonder if Gunn is going to direct Superman himself.
He sounds excited about it. Like, out of all of them, that sounded to me, like the one he was most, I don't know, jazzed about.
For sure.
If you're just listening to his voice.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, you never know. Who knows?
Yeah.
He might be too busy. I mean, shit, they've
That's
got
true.
a lot
He's
going
like-
on.
he's-
He might just be like,
that's true.
I wrote this, I'm writing these other things, I'm controlling what's going on in these other series.
That's true.
Managing all this, somebody else talented direct
That's
it,
true.
which probably makes sense.
I'm super curious to see who they get to direct this stuff. That's going to be a next exciting thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, James Mangold for Swamp Thing blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And the fact that James Mangold is a big Swamp Thing fan, I mean, like, what are you, for real? It's just cool. Yeah. I'm excited. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be great. I think I'm going to have a good time watching it. Do I wish these were all movies and none of them were TV series, so it would just, be tighter? Yes, I do, but, it is what it is. I'll take what I can get, and I think that he's excited. Like, James Gunn is excited about it. We've got he's clearly also, stating that he wants to let the vision of the directors come through.
Yeah.
So the other big reason I'm excited about this stuff is because I think everything's going to feel different. Mm-hmm. And that is super important for me watching movies. I can't have them feel the same.
Yeah.
And I think that based on what he's saying, what he's promising is, directors have their vision. Swamp Thing can be dark and oppressive and rated R, maybe, right?
Yeah.
That's different from Superman Legacy, right? Which is not.
Right.
Or Creature Commandos, that maybe is like a graphic, like Harley Quinn TV series, like a graphic R-rated animated series,
Yeah.
I can't wait. If we see this, if I see true diversity in the way these films and television series are, oh man, I'm over the moon. I think it's great. That's exactly what I would want. And if he can deliver that, I'm in his camp forever if he can make that happen.
I think there will always be with that, if that does come to pass, I think there will be some people that are confused by it. But honestly, me being selfish and who I am, I'd welcome it. I think that I know that I've kind of supported the idea of connected universes in the past. I still do to some degree, but to the extent that it's gone down the Marvel universe, it's like I saw their fourth. I think you just said this. I have no interest in what's coming out. I like Quantumania mainly because what an animated series did with Kang the Conqueror made me very excited. Plus, the guy that they have playing Kang, I can't remember his name off. Jonathan Majors, maybe?
Jonathan Majors, yeah.
I really like him.
Yeah, he's a good
really,
actor,
really
man.
like him.
He was in Lovecraft Country, and that was a good show.
Was he?
Yeah, he was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyways, that got me really excited. But literally nothing else in there I was excited by.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So maybe Guardians 3, just to see how it wraps up and to see the guy that's playing Adam Warlock become a fucking heartthrob out of nowhere.
Oh, he's a good actor too.
He's
man.
a good actor. Yeah, it's just
he's been
it's
a lot
funny.
Of cool stuff.
I was first exposed to him in that, I forgot what the name of it, Family Trip or whatever the fuck. It's
the road trip movie.
Jason Sudeikis
like
and
a
Jennifer
raunchy
Aniston.
comedy. Yeah.
And the kid's just like, he's basically a stick with a head. And then now he's fucking jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked.
He looks good. He's a good, handsome looking fella.
He was gonna interesting piece. He was actually gonna play Pennywise in It.
Oh, really?
When the original director was directing Pennywise, and I thought he was Will Poulter. I think is his name.
Yes.
And then they switched directors, and the director left, and Andy Muschietti came on. Yeah, came on, and so he's cool, Will Poulter. Yeah, and he's a good actor.
But yeah, the Marvel, like everything seems so. You mentioned it that they don't all have to look the same.
Yeah,
the Marvel universe has looked the same for a very long time, and every single film just has that haze. Like when
it's
you
that
see
digital haze,
everything.
The Disney
looks
Plus
super
haze
clean.
that I'm starting to.
That's why, I was really excited with Werewolf by Night.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, this could be great.
Yes.
It's gonna all be in black and white.
Yes. It still looks like a Marvel movie.
Same. It still looked the same, just in black and white.
We talked a little bit about, I don't know if it was on the show, but certainly like offline about Werewolf by Night. Like on paper, I should love that.
Yeah. And I did.
I mostly just kind of liked it, and it was there.
It was
fine.
It was fine.
But it is actually the Marvel formula still.
Yep.
Wrapped in a very thin veneer.
Yeah.
Of 30s, 40s Universal horror.
Yeah.
So thin. Yeah. To the point where it's like you're not even like you can't hide it.
Yeah.
You can't hide it. Yeah. And that's not what I want.
No.
I'm happy that I got that. Let's get weirder.
Yeah.
That's basically what I would say. Yeah. But if James Gunn can break the mold, he's got to stand out. They have to stand out, man. And certainly Zack Snyder stood out.
Yes.
That's the one thing I can give Snyder and his films. They were wildly different than what Marvel had. He cannot come in here and create DC movies that are the same feel across the board, that feel like it's by committee.
Yeah.
You're basically going to flood the market, and you're not going to get any interest, in my opinion. Not my interest, I guess you could say.
I was going to say, I think
maybe
we're
that's
the
not
minority.
True. Yeah,
I still
for
think
sure.
Those Marvel films are still making hand over
Sorry,
fist.
not to say that what Marvel's doing is bad. It's not. It's a business, right? It's a business. But there's a reason I'm not watching all of them. Is because it's gotten to the point where I'm like I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah. It's not putting out anything creative,
fresh. Doesn't feel fresh.
Right? And original.
Originally. This, if he can keep the freshness, he can keep the vision. These directors that come in keep their vision.
Yeah.
Vary the ratings from PG-13 to R. Vary them. Yeah. That's what's going to set this thing apart. Opening this with Creature Commandos animated series, you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Opening sound, Swamp Thing, a film, you've got my attention. Right? Like, there's stuff in here I never thought I would say. Like, The Authority. Fucking what the hell? Like, really?
I know. Yeah.
So I think that that is what I'm reading from all of the stuff that I'm seeing from him. And I really, really hope that he can deliver. Really, really hope. I'm excited.
We'll find out in a few years. We'll find out in 2025.
In the meantime, we're going to get the sequel to Aquaman, so I'm all good. Even Shazam, I'm excited about that too. I think that's going to be fun. And
The Flash.
Man, The Flash is going to be like, I don't know. Like, I'm excited about seeing The Flash. I think it's going to be really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think it's going to look cool. I think it's going to be a big budget blockbuster film, I think. Now, is it going to be like a great movie? Maybe not a great movie, but I'm excited just for concepts that they introduce, because you can do crazy things with The Flash.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm just kind of excited to see what they do there.
Excuse me. I
And Blue Beetle.
Oh, God.
And Jaime's here too. But yeah, anyways.
I agree. I think that I think of everything coming up pre-Gunn. I'm most excited for The Flash, mainly just to see Michael Keaton back in the cowl. I'm just curious to see what they go from there, because it doesn't sound like they like. Reports have been that, you know, Henry Cavill's out. I've heard or seen, I don't know if that it's come directly from James Gunn's mouth, that Gal Gadot is out.
Right.
But it sounds
yeah, man, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that too. No, I'm not saying that's a problem.
No.
I'm curious to see what they do with Ezra Miller, to see what they do with them.
Do you think that, I have this strong suspicion that James Gunn, maybe they edited The Flash, like the end of it. Maybe they already had a plan for The Flash to do a Flashpoint style reset.
Yeah.
I think they already had that in the plan for The Flash, I think.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like a new edits, maybe a few reshoots happen to plug at the end of The Flash as being a reset into Gunn's and Peter Safran's universe. A few things here and there. Maybe they've cast someone. Maybe they, like, you know what I mean? Like, because you can do a lot with a little. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like, or they just keep it open-ended that things have reset and they don't say anything. But, like, I feel like maybe they've done something. Maybe they've added a little smidge here and there, a little hint here and there.
We'll know this year. This year, right? It's coming
Is
up.
that this year? Yeah.
I think The Flash is this year.
Yeah, The Flash.
First is Fury of the Gods, and then later is The Flash. So we'll find out this year what they want to do, and we'll see what happens. And then Aquaman.
Oh, fuck. Buddy, James Wan off the leash. That's what I want to see. That is a creative dude. That movie is like, if that's another Saturday morning cartoon with a $200 million budget, count me in, man.
It's fine, man. I'm a fan of the first one. I'm a fan of the first one.
You know what? I hope the Manta knife makes an appearance. I really do. All right.
We're cracking 2 hours right now, so I think we should probably
all right. We should go get a drink at the bar.
Yeah, agreed. All right. What's going to be your first drink?
I think I'm gonna grab a beer, because this hat is really, really warm, and I've kept it on the whole time.
It is warm. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for listening and potentially watching if I can get this shit on YouTube.
Yeah. You can see my stupid hat.
You can see the stupid hat. You can see my stupid bookcase.
Yeah,
we'll also be putting more stuff out on YouTube.
The bookcase is less stupid than my hat. So
I know. My bookcase is awesome. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. And this has been Justin.
This has been Atul. Peace, guys.
Take it easy.